Over here, I'm getting to the point that I've dreaded with this model for 6-7 years now, and that is cutting out individual pieces from styrene. I just hate doing it, that's all. So it's actually led to this much of a delay, and finally I'm getting to it. And what I'll have to be doing is first measuring to make sure that this actually is full scale. And indeed it is. So then tape this down to some plastic, cut the shapes, then those attach a few panels that were here. There we go. So those pieces here go onto these two panels plus this guy and this guy. And unfortunately it looks like I cut away some details here thinking it was just scrag, and it actually needed to be there, so this is not going to be quite accurate. So while I've been able to preserve this stem sticking out of this dish for this long, unfortunately this is one detail that needs to go because of the way the antenna is set up. Engines are going on last, or actually those aren't engines, those are torpedo tubes. Those go on the front here, they're going on last because they're going to be a delicate outcropping. Back here we've got the silver engine sitting in the paint booth. There's some brass tubes that I need to cut and glue into place. And that is it for the end of this model. So hopefully I can get this done in relatively quickly. There's some brass tubes to add onto it here and there. We'll get to that when we get to it. It does look like I've lost one little piece, and that is a second of this guy right there. There's another one that should go up here, but this is the only one I have after all that. So it was either lost years ago or just when I don't know, whenever. Those two holes get some brass sticking out of them. So I'll get some double-sided Scotch tape for this. I've got a piece of scrap paper here, or rather scrap plastic I should say. And away we go. Always be sure to cut out your inner shapes before your outer shapes. Make life easy on yourself. Keep a plastic bag handy. You can dab a little glue on it for small parts and run the part through that rather than applying the glue directly. And when those parts are so small that you can't even pick them up, that makes it even more interesting. This is going to be a very delicate part. Let's not touch that for a long time. Now for something even more difficult on the other panel. Because there is no way that these are going to line up properly. No way. Alright, so we'll try the other one. So basically, there's little to no chance that all the angles that I got on both these pieces are going to be close enough to be symmetrical to be relied on as an actual support. Over here in the instructions, that would suggest that they're just used as a balance, which helps out. And actually, that may help me to glue these into place because it'll already have 2 balance points. So let's try this another way. I've just dabbed a couple dabs of glue. I just dropped a couple dabs of glue at each end there because of the way the part is underneath it. Actually, that might be the better space right there. It'll probably take about half a minute for this to cure. Now I'll just drop those little pieces in between there and all set. These legs, however, are supposed to be supports. And they go something like that. Oh, no, they go something like this. Right on the second one there. Alright. They are not ready for deployment yet. Looks like I set this guy too high. And he should be down one. Oops. So this part is looking good, but it's going to need hours to cure. And these guys, I'm not going to be able to rely on them for a long while too, it looks like. And these actually need to be more stable according to the instructions. Next up are these 3 pieces. And we'll put this one aside. So break that. Going to drill a new hole and use a different piece of tubing for it. And then technically I should have left a piece of little what looked like at the time debris to me. So I'm going to have to drill this a little differently. And it does really need a drill to do it too. And this little guy goes here. Just like that. Something like that. I'm going to try and take this little piece of bent plastic here. See if I can make this look like something that... See if I can make a convincing replacement for what I cut away. Yeah. Why not? Get a little better centered. There we go. Brand new piece. This guy goes somewhere right here, facing the short end. This guy goes here like that. Let's try this. Just for the record, what I'm doing here is dropping a couple beads of glue. Then just stepping the parts into it. If this has to rely on my wobbly fingers, it'll never glue on. Let's try this. Nope. I think I need to let that sit for a while.